Queen Elizabeth will always be forgiven. Happy to welcome back Prince Harry into royal family, after he has faced backlash and huge fallout with his comments on Dax Shepard and Monica Padman's Armchair Expert podcast, according to an expert. Prince Harry was asked by Americans to return to the UK, after commenting that the Freedom Protection Clause in the US Constitution was crazy. The Duke of Sussex is facing a wave of backlash after calling the First Amendment of the US Constitution bonkers during a podcast appearance last week. Royal aides had said that Prince Harry and Meghan Markle should stop calling themselves the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. But, palace sources have said, the Queen and other senior royals will not place pressure on the Duke and Duchess of Sussex to stop using their titles. Last week, Prince Harry joined Dax Shepard and co-host Monica Padman on the American Expert podcast. During the course of the 90-minute interview, the prince dropped more bombshell revelations about life in the royal family. He claimed he had wanted to quit the institution since his 20s and criticized his father's parenting skills. But, Prince Harry made sure to clarify that the Sussexes continue to have a good relationship with the Queen, and even after their big interview with Oprah Winfrey aired. And royal biographer Andrew Morton believes the Queen would never hesitate to welcome her grandson back into the family. Queen Elizabeth has a very special relationship with Prince Harry, and often lets her guard down around her grandson. Mr. Morton claims Her Majesty has a great deal of empathy for the Duke of Sussex and sees a lot of similarities and circumstances between her grandson and her sister, Princess Margaret. In Morton's new book, Elizabeth and Margaret, The Intimate World of the Windsor Sisters, is about the relationship between the royal siblings, and he told Vanity Fair's Katie Nicholl that Margaret often felt that she was in Elizabeth's shadow. He said that, I think the Queen knows that being the spare is hard and a part of her recognizes that Harry was sometimes a bit of a lost soul just like her sister. The Queen has always wanted to protect Harry, and I think in part that's because she watched Margaret fall victim to the system. Similarly, as a child, Prince Harry felt Prince William always got more attention and was included in certain activities he was left out of. Queen Elizabeth has a lot of empathy for her grandson, and knows that being the spare is hard and a part of her recognizes that Harry was sometimes a bit of a lost soul just like her sister, and the Duke of Sussex is a royal rebel, just like Princess Margaret. He added, shutting out Margaret didn't help and the Queen has learned from that. And Margaret once said disobedience is my joy and you see some of that in Harry. So, she didn't want history to repeat itself with Harry. While, like Margaret, Harry sometimes felt like an outsider, and I think that's why the Queen has made sure the door is always open for Harry to return to the royal fold. According to former butler to Prince Charles, the Queen has a special bond with her grandson Prince Harry. And that might be due to the young Duke of Sussex reminding Her Majesty of her husband Prince Philip. Prince Harry's bond with Queen Elizabeth has remained strong through the years, despite his decision to step away from his senior position within the royal family along with his wife, Meghan Markle. During a March 2021 interview on CBS, the Duke of Sussex said that, my grandmother and I have a really good relationship and an understanding. And I have a deep respect for her. She's my colonel-in-chief, right? She always will be. I have too much respect for her, he shared at the time, noting that they discussed the exit 3 different times before it became public information. I've spoken more to my grandmother in the last year than I have done for many, many years, he said during the interview, adding that they've Zoomed with her so she could see her grandson Archie. In the 2016 ITV documentary, Harry praised the Queen for her work over the years. I look at the Commonwealth and think, look how much it's achieved, he said at the time. Meanwhile, a source revealed that Prince Harry's emotional trailer for a TV show that includes footage of his mother's funeral has sparked fears of another attack on Prince Charles. The mental health film teaser shows the then 12-year-old Duke of Sussex as Princess Diana's coffin passes by. And Prince Charles can be seen speaking to his son as a female voice says over music. Treating people with dignity is the first act. And royal aides are concerned over what he will say about his relationship with his dad following his explosive Oprah Winfrey interview and appearance on a US podcast last week. Prince Harry also hit with backlash after complaining about the US Constitution on a podcast, while admitting he doesn't fully understand it. The Duke of Sussex made the comments on an episode of Dax Shepard and Monica Padman's Armchair Expert podcast. While chatting about life in Los Angeles, where Harry and wife Meghan Markle have settled since leaving the United Kingdom, the prince discussed what he called the media freezing frenzy resulting from his stay at film producer and actor Tyler Perry's Beverly Hills mansion. He specifically took issue with the paparazzi. Harry said, "I've got so much I want to say about the First Amendment as I sort of understand it, because I've only been here a short period of time. I don't want to start going down the First Amendment route because that's a huge subject and one which I don't understand because I've only been here a short time. But you can find a loophole in anything. And you can capitalize or exploit what's not said rather than uphold what is said." Prince Harry's comments ignited a wave of sharply criticized by Nigel Farage, Cruz, Crenshaw, and others. With some furious Americans suggested Harry had lost the plot and telling the royal to get the hell out. Former Brexit leader Nigel Farage tweeted, "For Prince Harry to condemn the USA's First Amendment shows he has lost the plot. Soon he will not be wanted on either side of the pond. He's such a tiresome flog." "Shut up, Harry," wrote Rita Panahi, an Australian newspaper columnist. "Well, I just doubled the size of my Independence Day party," wrote Rep. Dan Crenshaw, Texas on Twitter. While Piers Morgan has slammed Prince Harry as a spineless self-pitying twerp after he said the First Amendment was bonkers. I wonder if he also thinks the Fourth Amendment is bollocks and the 14th Amendment is pish posh. Host Piers Morgan added, "How many more Hollywood-style interviews will Prince Harry and Meghan Markle give before they finally achieve the privacy they claim to be so desperate for?" The ex-Good Morning Britain presenter, 56, claimed to Mail Online that Harry is on very dangerous territory by bashing the US Constitution while living in America. Piers also demanded that Prince Harry and Meghan Markle hand back their titles as they despise the royal family. In the same podcast chat, Harry blasted Dad Charles's parenting and said he moved to California to break the cycle of pain for wife Meghan and their kids. On the podcast, Prince Harry said of his father, "He's treated me the way that he was treated. There's a lot of genetic pain and suffering that gets passed on anyway. There's no blame. But certainly when it comes to parenting, if I have experienced some kind of pain or suffering because of the pain or suffering that, perhaps, my father or my parents had suffered, I'm going to make sure I break that cycle so I don't pass it on." The Duke claimed his father, 72, suffered due to his upbringing by the Queen and Philip, then treated me the way he was treated. We shouldn't just sit there and go, "Oh, mental illness is," once we are literally on the floor crawling around in the fetal position needing help. For me, I don't think I need therapy anymore, but I want it. And when I say therapy, I mean actual therapy. Therapy that is sitting down and having a discussion with someone. Piers Morgan went on to call him disgusting for condemning the Queen and Prince Philip just
Please
weeks
support
after his
growing
death.
channel by
And he
subscribe
branded
channel and
Harry's
like video
outburst as
hour.
shameful
And don't
berated
forget
him for
activate
publicly hammering
notifications
his
to channel
father
to
in
always
public.
get the latest news. If you have any problems with the information in the video, please write a comment below to let us know and answer.